Hello, my name is Navigator. I recently asked my subscribers and other people in the Fallout 76 community a simple question. Why do you love Fallout? Since we are in the season of Fallout, giving the recent birthday and 5th anniversary, I figured it was an important question to ask. And man, I got a lot of responses. Some of them may make you cry, some of them may make you laugh, but most of them you'll definitely relate to. In this video, I'm going to read these for you and hopefully you'll have a new appreciation for this amazing series of games as well as its community by the end of the video. There won't be much going on screen, so I suggest either listening to this like you would a podcast, or you can look lovingly at the beautiful view of West Virginia. I'm going to try to move around a little bit so there's somewhat of a variation, but for the most part, I'm going to be reading, so, this is kind of how I do my videos, and yeah, nothing more I can really say. What we're going to do first is we're going to start with the responses from my subscribers who commented on my recent community post as well as a recent video of mine. They were somewhat spread out, but I'm going to do my best to try to get all of them. So with that being said, we can start this. Alright, so the first comment that we have is from a longtime friend and player of Fallout 76, that being Derpy Lombax. As one of the oldest players in the game, I can confidently, say, the people and the community within the game is what keeps me here. I've met so many people, and so many people from different cultures, and learned so many things and made plenty of memories. I would not trade that for the world. Ad Victoriam from Genesis. That, of course, is Derpy's group, the Brotherhood of Steel Genesis. If you were curious about them, I do have an interview with them on my channel. Next up, we have Perceived Velocity 9914, a big friend of the channel, I would say. Always see them commenting. But they said, I started playing when Fallout 3 first came out. The retro future wasteland is what I fell in love with. I had visited Washington, D.C. before I played that game and was very impressed with how they translated the landmarks. Perceived Velocity, thank you very much for that comment. I appreciate it. And yeah, I can agree with that. When I go to DC as well, I'm always kind of switching them up and looking at the differences between the buildings. But continuing. Odysseus Prime. For me, Fallout has a very special place in my heart, especially 76. When I start playing it, I remember going through some bad personal stuff, and I remember when I started playing, everything around me just vanished. It was me walking in this lawless, beautiful world, doing whatever. Building my home, helping or not, visiting other players' camps. It was like being a child again. Everything was amazing. Sometimes I just climb mountains for the view, or go to the towns to see the little bits of the old world, and sometimes get scared of what was lurking in the shadows. It makes me forget everything that was happening around me. It gave me a fresh start that you can't really have in life, and it was awesome. I can't say it's my favorite Fallout, but it's certainly the one that I've had the most fun with. Now to my favorite Fallout. The first Fallout the first Fallout I was able to get was Fallout 3 on the Xbox 360, and it changed my life. All the content in that game trapped me. All the stories, the somehow perfect songs, how the world looks so destroyed but just the right amount, all the things that you could do, all the places that you can explore, all the NPCs that you could help or not. I remember one time I was extremely powerful, and I went to Paradise Falls to turn ash to all the slavers. I can agree with you on that one, Odysseus. That was so satisfying to finally free all those slaves, and that was my favorite thing in the entire Fallout saga. Just doing what you want. If you want justice or revenge, or just to live and let live, even if you can't kill an NPC that you don't like, you can install a mod and you can blow them to pieces. I like that. You can be a cowboy, or a god of destruction, or a hero, or just play like it's you and do whatever you would do in that situation. For me, is that first choice, the choice of doing it my way. That's why I love these games. That's why I'm going to keep playing them until I die. Well, Odysseus Prime, thank you so much for that comment. And there is something that I should mention here. This is not at the fault of my subscribers at all, but texting on a phone sometimes you might get your grammar messed up. That's why I might be tripping over some words sometimes, is because the wordage is not great, but then again, that's not anybody's fault, just kind of typing on a phone. Anyways, moving on, we have Marjama K. The series is important to me because Fallout 4 was one of the first games I ever played. I know it's not best when comparing it to New Vegas or 3, but I enjoyed it. Generally, though, the Fallout series kind of shows what life after nuclear disaster could look like, and I enjoy it. Well, thank you, Mar. I appreciate that. Mr. Kibble says, lol. I'm not high level, but I've played all day on 1 when it dropped early access used to be a thing. I still remember camping 24 hours before Black Ops 2 was released for pre-order. So it seems like he camped out the Fallout 76 release as well. And that's good memories, my man. I remember doing that for a lot of games when I was a kid as well. And finally, from Wastelord's Legends, who we will hear from in the future of this video, I mean, what do you mean by Fallout? It's just radioactive contaminants filtered by my Riot Helmet's respirator. Swing bam bam, gotta get out of here. Stay safe out there, Wastelanders. So we will hear from Wastelord a little bit further down the line in this video, but a funny little comment from him. And I'm going to move on to one of my other videos where I had plenty of comments, and let's see if I can open that one up. Here we go. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to start with my usual antics 6853, or I apologize, Elric 1976-5. I think Fallout is so important to me because it gave me the opportunity to explore a world that was/is so different from our own. Fallout 3 was the first one I ever played and spent thousands of hours in that game. I remember when it came out. I was so excited when I walked out of the vault for the first time. I played it until 4 in the morning. A little fun fact here. I actually was playing, I stayed up till 4 in the morning on Christmas Eve to finish Fallout 4, so I can somewhat relate to that. Frank's World 9922. The largest reason I love Fallout 76 is the friends I have made. They make the game the most important part of exploring the wasteland, and I would agree. Hamburglar 1313 says, I love Fallout for a ton of reasons, but the one that keeps me coming back is being able to make decisions to be the good guy. You make a choice and then see the repercussions of that choice. I love the feeling of helping out settlers in any Fallout game, even new players in 76, and seeing the effort it has. The lore, the environment, the characters, all of it comes together to create a world where so much has gone wrong, but you can still be positive and leave an impact. Hamburglar, I like that one a lot. Moving on here, from Ahibasabala. For me, Fallout is important because of the robots. Strange reason, I'm sure, but I just really appreciate their humor. It lifts my spirits. I can definitely relate to that when it comes to the Protectrons, especially in 76. But moving on here. From Fighty McLovenstein, great name. Back when I was a kid, I had a lot of anxiety about celestial disasters, nuclear holocausts, and the such, probably because my mom was way too liberal with the movies she let me watch, but the sense of humor of Fallout 2 and keeping up with Chris Avalone's Fallout Bible updates really alleviated some of that. So, to this day, just immersing myself into the world of Fallout remains a therapeutic experience. Very interesting, a very unique comment. I like that a lot. Fallout 76 has probably the best gaming community coming from GTA and the Red Dead Online community, and 76 is hands down the best, and it has so much to do. I've only been playing for about 4 months, but it's just relaxed atmosphere, and other players were quick to help when I was such a low level, so I tried to pay it forward as much as I can, and I'm sure a lot of us can relate to that 100%. Mark Jake Thompson comments, I love it, 7,000 hours plus, as it's a stress-free form of gaming, and I would relate to that as well. It is very stress-free, lots of things that you can do. We have another comment from Marjama K. Yes, this series is important to me because Fallout 4 was one of the first games I ever played. I know it's not best when comparing it to New Vegas or 3, but I enjoyed it. Generally, though, the Fallout series kind of shows what life after a nuclear disaster could look like, and I enjoy it. So somewhat similar to the other comment left by Marjama, but still somewhat different. So thank you again, Marjama. Robert Evans, 7144, says, I've been playing Fallout games since Fallout 3. I do have the other Fallout games, but I did not play them as a laptop a tad bit slow. Fallout 76 is the game which in a sense saved me. I battle my head demons on a daily basis, but playing this game helps me so much. I lose myself in it and often find that hours have drifted by. I also made a lot of friends whilst playing this all over the world. I love this game, to the point I started to collect various items. Thank you, Bethesda, for saving my life, and I mean that so much. Well, Mr. Evans, I hope that what you're going through gets a lot better, but I'm sure a lot of us can relate to it. I mean, me especially. There are times where I have bad days. You can really immerse yourself in this world and almost forget about all of those problems. So once again, Robert, hope you're feeling better. Take What Away says, I'm a gamer since I was 6 years old, but Fallout 4 was my first RPG where I have to actively shoot my enemies using a controller. I learned from Fallout 4. Then I continue playing Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 76. The VATs help a lot, and since then I have broadened my gaming genre. But Fallout games feel so different because the lore is fascinating. A good mix of politics, sci-fi, and supernatural elements put this into a beautifully complex mechanic of looting, modding, and building. It's everything I need to escape from the real world, and 76 added friends that enjoy the same thing in real time. Thanks for your content, by the way. The infos you're giving, especially the ATX items you bought, help a lot for me to decide whether to buy it or not. Well, thank you, Takeaway. I appreciate that. Moving on, Bubble of Doom. What's Fallout mean to me? I got into Fallout playing Fallout 3 shortly before they released New Vegas. When New Vegas came out, it lived up to my expectations. I knew I was going to be forever a fan of the franchise. Sorry, too many F's there. As a Vegas local who traveled the area and studied its history, couldn't think of a better settings for a 50 retrofuturism turned atomic apocalypse game. 50s Vegas was known as Atomic City, with crowds gathering to watch the nuclear bomb tests. All the while, the city was in turmoil as the longtime local cowboys were engaging in literal gunfights with the new-coming mobsters who wanted to turn the city into a casino paradise. A city where Western swing meets Rat Pack music, where money and violence, rules, corruption warred with order, and above it all, an indifferent government irradiated by its own citizens. Now, I'm obviously biased, but because the setting alone, Fallout New Vegas will always be peak Fallout. However, each Fallout game after still cemented itself as something unique and amazing. I know so many people hate everything after New Vegas, but I love Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. 4 gave us this wonderful coastal and colonial feeling, as well as the best building system and settlements. No joke. A lot of the hate thrown towards 76's way is because of the building system is so bad compared to Fallout 4. In Fallout 76, I only recently got into it, so some of you long-term players may have forgotten what stood out initially. Not gonna lie, I didn't get into it because I couldn't imagine why 50s-style West Virginia would make a good setting. What made it different and boring from West Virginia now? Then someone said one word that changed everything. Cryptids. Yeah, but that wasn't what blew my mind when I got in. Oh my goodness. It's a lush green wasteland. I mean, yeah, you could get close to that level of green with mods for Fallout 4, but with the base game comes the closest small patches where a GEC had been used. Going from nothing of Fallouts 1, 2, to the 50 Shades of Grey of Fallout 3, to the barren deserts of Nevada, to the almost dead winter of Boston, to West Virginia where half the freaking map was green, and the skies were blue. Did you notice only one other Fallout games gave you a blue sky? I did. I guess I missed the phase where there were trolls and trap camps, since all my player interactions have been super friendly and nice. Not gonna lie, it's hands down the most pleasant Fallout. Obviously, I wouldn't want to really live in any wasteland, but if I were forced to choose, West Virginia would be the place to settle down. That's when I realized why Fallout was so successful. It went into an area, applying the worst of the apocalypse and wasteland, while also highlighting the best about that area. It's never insulting to West Virginia, Boston, Vegas, or Washington, D.C. The creators always show love and care to the location. I mean, West Virginia could have been littered with a parody of ignorant hillbillies and rednecks, and like a lot of outsiders might think it is, but instead its characters are real people. Wastelanders and hard, but real people and not parodies, because they didn't want to insult their setting, and that's why I'm still a fan. Well, Bubble of Doom, I would say that was very well worded, and I definitely agree with everything you were saying there. Moving on here, Nareha V1. Excited. It's my first time doing the... Oh, I apologize. So a little side note here. The video that all these comments come from was a What's Going On This Week in Fallout video. So some of these comments are related to the video that you're watching right now, and some of them are related to that video, so I do apologize. However, at the bottom hand of their comment here, it says, but got a hook on my son, introduced this game to me a bit late, fell in love with it for Fallout 4 and now 76. So he's saying that he fell in love with Fallout 4 and 76 because his son gave it to him. Let's see. Alla Braveheart says, hello. What if this Fallout really did happen for real? How would everyone cope, survive, or die? I love the Fallout franchise. I've played every single one. It has taken over my life. I can definitely agree with that. Let's see what other ones that we have here. Empire of Legends joint today. It's the best game because I love griefing, trolling, and making low levels quit the game. Personally, I'm not really a major fan of that, and this is of course me, Navigator, speaking, but to each their own. So there you go. Always have to have the, what do you call it, the outlier. Let's see if there's anyone else here. Okay. Yeah, this is from Michael's Explorations. I'm loving the double XP. Happy birthday, 76. Much love to our wonderful community. For those that still play this awesome game, this game lets me escape into a different world, making new friends just recently. Okay, folks, that is going to end the portion of this video where we're going to be discussing the comments from my YouTube channel and YouTube videos, and now we're going to move on to some more personal responses. I reached out on Discord to a lot of people, mainly communitors in the Fallout 76 community. Oh, did I just say communitors? Members of the community, that's what I should have said. But I'm going to read their responses, and there might be some names that you are familiar with. So, take up my notes here, and we will start with some responses from the DTD Discord. Okay, Festivized Nugget says, I like to see the world destroyed by man's ego, walking in past destruction, still brimming with life. I like 76 the most because it is the most realistic compared to the other games. Plants would cover everything in just about 10 years. Sidewalks of today already get eaten and covered in just 3 years. Now, side note, what I'm going to be reading from now on, I wrote in pen and paper, and as I was writing that, that actually does make a lot of sense. So I want to give props to Nugget for kind of thinking outside the box there. There would be a lot more foliage in the event of a nuclear apocalypse. I mean, like Jeff Goldblum said, life finds a way. Excuse me. One of the best things, and this is of course continuing on to what Nugget said, one of the best things Fallout did was become multiplayer. It's melancholic in a way, knowing that the bombs dropped and the world is dead, yet everything still lives on. I apologize, guys. I'm a little under the weather today, so if I'm, clearing my throat, I hope you don't mind. Another member of the DTD Discord, and I wouldn't say a friend, because bruv, well, bruv, you'll see this, but yeah, you know what? A friend from the DTD Discord, longtime friend, bruv. As much as I talk bad about 76, I still love Fallout. I love playing Fallout 4, doing the story and settlement building, and on 76, I still love playing it with friends. Some of my best experiences gaming was with an Enclave roleplay group. For some reason, whenever I get rid of 76, a short while after, I'll end up getting it back. And I can definitely agree with that. And finally, from the DTD Discord, sorry, a lot of D's there, an actual legitimate friend of mine, Atomic Man 762, he says, humanity's stubbornness is its key to survival. I thought that was very well put. So moving on from that, we have some more Discord responses, this time coming from Monkey, a big friend of the channel, who I'm sure a lot of you guys know. Mr. Derp in his Discord says, I like Fallout 76 for how ridiculous it is. Remember the Zetans from Fallout 3, where it was a whole DLC just trying to defeat a single fleet? In Appalachia, they got beat out by a bunch of goobers with high-powered weaponry. Very well put. We have access to nukes, and what do we do with them? Strategically bomb the nests of several beasts just to piss them off enough for them to walk outside and we can gun them down. We strong-armed the remains of the Secret Service into giving us experimental weapons. All of this hilarious stuff is cooped up in a game with a bad rep that doesn't reflect its current state. And to that I would agree as well, Mr. Derp. From Monkey himself, the legend. Character builds and legendary effects definitely makes 76 special. No other game I've played has a similar system, plus the weapons are fun. Monkey, always a man of few words, and you have to respect that. Moving on. Like I said earlier in the video, we would get another response from Wastelord, and here it is. Fallout immerses me into an awesome and different reality that I've had an extreme interest in since I was 5 years old. I've always loved apocalyptic and sci-fi themes, but I also love looking out abandoned buildings and the bulky World War II tech along with power armor. The community is awesome, which I love, and I actually just went to New Vegas Day to celebrate with them. and that he did. Guys, I would totally suggest going and checking out Wastelord's channel. I believe that he has made some content recently going over the Fallout New Vegas Day. If you guys don't know what that is, go to his channel and figure it out. It's a big meetup in real life where a bunch of Fallout fans come together and they celebrate. He also has a lot of pictures on his Instagram of that as well, so be sure to go check that out. I will leave a link to his channel along with all of the other creators in the description below. Moving on from Wastelord, we have Wiggle Plays, another creator in the Fallout community who you guys may be familiar with. Exploration would probably be my number one. That's what hooked me with Fallout 3, my first Bethesda game. I'd see a mark on the compass and head in that direction to see what it was. The sandbox nature of the games means that you can spend hundreds of hours doing things without even touching the main story. There's just something about exploring a ruined world that really draws me in. Very well put, Wiggle, and thank you. Of course, I will have a link to all of the creators in the description below. Please go check out and subscribe to Wiggle Plays. Next up here, more from Discord, the absolute legend, someone that of course you'll be familiar with, that is going to be Fargassier. A great guy, incredibly positive, a great role model. If you are not subscribed to Fargassier now, excuse me, I would go check out his content. He is one of the best doing it right now within the Fallout community. Gassy says, so as for my love of the Fallout series, I was always interested in the story and role-playing games growing up, but I was a console player for most of my life until switching to a PC a few years back. My first interaction was with Fallout 3. I loved the atmosphere and the storyline that the game provided. Now, I didn't get Fallout 3 when it came out, but months after release as a late-night trip to Walmart, I picked up the game case for the PS3 and read the book cover and figured, why not give it a shot? That night was the spark of seeing the voice acting, storyline humor, and the amount of lore associated with the game. I loved my time in the game, but the moment that had me hooked is when I opened the door and read the words, I remember this location actually, what he's talking about, F you. Now, quick side note, there's a couple FUs throughout the Fallout games, but I think I know the exact location that he is talking about. I started laughing, and at that moment I knew the developers had similar humor to me. Through the years of playing Fallout 3, New Vegas, and Fallout 4, I always wanted to play Fallout with friends. When I heard about Fallout 76 being online, I knew that I needed to get the game because it was what I had wanted for so long. I have loved my time on Fallout 76, but if I had to say one thing that keeps me coming back to the 76 and Fallout series, it would be the community. There are times where we take breaks to play other games, but after a few days of playing, I miss my friends in the wasteland and want to come back to hang out with everyone. I've sat around for hours and hours just talking at a player's camp and relaxing. That is incredibly relatable, and I think a pattern that we will see throughout this is the fact that the community is a really big part in this game, and I believe I've actually made a video about that in the past, but I'm not going to go on for too long about it, but in my opinion, the Fallout 76 community is unlike any other, and I'm sure you guys can probably decipher that as to why, but I'll leave it at that. Somebody that a lot of you will know, if not most of you, if not all of you, that is going to be TNG76, a great content creator regarding Fallout 76, and he is now the facilitator, I guess I could say, of the top 5, top 10 weekly camps for Fallout 76. If that's your kind of thing, building, go check out TNG76 here on YouTube. The main reason I keep playing now is the friends I've made through it. Still enjoy wandering about, chatting to people I have met in-game. Thank you, TNG, for taking the time to respond. I appreciate that. And like I mentioned before, a lot of these responses were from the DTD Discord, and now I have a response from DTD himself. I just love the theme of the game. I got hooked on it when I was 12, been playing Fallout on and off ever since. DTD, of course, all of you know who that is. Totally go check him out. He is probably the number one, maybe like news and kind of keeping you up to date person on YouTube for Fallout 76. Go check him out. Somebody that a lot of you will know as well. This is going to be a response from the one and only Tonic. For 76, the main reason is the community. I remember playing it early on, and one night, an older dude visited my camp and we just sat in chairs and talked about the game and how things are going. Over the years, I'm still meeting awesome people and making new friends. The community is for sure my favorite part. I've made tons of great friends and memories in Fallout 76. Thank you, Tonic, for that response. Of course, please go check out Tonic. He makes some great content regarding Fallout 76 and the Fallout games. Moving on here, from the Neo Cypher. Neo Cypher is actually a gentleman that I have only recently met via Wastelord, and he is great. If you are the kind of person that loves really delving deep into the lore, history, and stories of Fallout factions, that is exactly what the Neo Cypher does. Please go check him out. Cypher says, "A world condemned by its patrons and engulfed in the glow of their own hubris. Within this destruction, I found a template for the new world, a new life, an open and reactive environment to explore one's deviations, to learn of one's self. In my myriad of lives lived in the wasteland, I have saved the helpless, conquered nations, experienced Fisto, yikes, and made millions. Through the eyes of the protagonist, I have lived and died 1,000 times over and discovered more about myself than one true mortal life could ever teach me. I love Fallout because it's not just a game and never will be. It's whatever you, the player, needs it to be." He also says, though, "If that's too profound for you or your tastes, my simple answer is Roman LARPers and pleasure bots. Ring-a-ding-ding, baby." Well, first off, rest in peace to Matthew Perry, of course, the voice actor for Benny. But more importantly, Neo, very, very well put. I love how you said that. I told you that when you responded, and I'm telling you again, that is one of the best responses that I've gotten. Very, very well put. Please go check out the Neo Cypher. Moving on here. Actually, we are getting to the end of the video here. I'm going to read the final two responses. They're kind of lost in translation within my Discord, but they are going to be from TaylorMade Wasteland as well as Uranium Fever. So, TaylorMade Wasteland says, "I've been playing Fallout since the first one. I've always loved the franchise. The whole apocalyptic theme interests me. In games, movies, etc. I guess that's why I'm such a huge fan of The Walking Dead. I've always looked forward to the new Fallout releases. 76 kind of took it to a new level. I bought the online aspect into it. I wasn't into that part at first, but after I got help from a few people early on and started talking with people, it really became one of my favorite parts. I've met a lot of great people, some that I consider close friends now. I was into building with Fallout 4, but I really got into it with 76. Watching a lot of the original 76 YouTubers got me further into it. That's definitely my favorite part of the game. The game as a whole was rocky that first year, as we all know. Oh, jeez, I just lost my place here. I apologize. But it became a great game. All things considered, yeah, some things still irritate me, but it's definitely come a long way. I don't play much lately since things have gotten so repetitive. I agree with that. I do the chore board, but it has become a chore. New events interest me for a few days. What really keeps me on it now is the building. I don't have a lot of online time the last year or so, but I have so many ideas. Being part of the building community is amazing. 76 also got me into video editing and starting my channel. I've always been interested in video editing and content creation, so 76 gave me motivation to get into some of those new things that I love doing. It's been an up and down journey with this game, but I'll definitely be on it until they shut down the servers or until I run out of ideas." Taylor, thank you so much for the way that you put that. I really appreciate it. And I will say, before we go on to our last response here, yeah, it gets repetitive sometimes, but I said this in one of my first videos ever. The best tool that you can have with not just this game, but all of the Fallout games and really gaming in general is to have imagination. Imagination is what will keep you playing forever. So the final response here, and not because it was super particular, but somebody that you guys will all know, is going to be Uranium Fever. Fallout for me as a whole, less so in 76's case. What I love about them is every time I load up for one session, I will discover something that I didn't know about. There is just so much lore and world building packed into each game. And that is his response. And kind of piggybacking off of what Taylor and Uranium said, once again, imagination is the #1 tool to have. I said it a long time ago in my What to Do When You're Bored Fallout video. All you need to do is load up a server and walk. If you walk, you will find something that you hadn't seen before. Even me, even the gentleman earlier who has 7,000 hours, I guarantee you, that we could do that and we would find something new. So that is what I would suggest you guys do. And before we get into, well, my very brief opinions on this game, I'm going to drink some water. Because I've been talking for a very long time, and one other thing that I want to say is that I do apologize for the way that I do my videos, but this is the style that works best for me. I've really been trying not to mess up the audio at all and trying to not stammer over my words a lot, but I really do appreciate you guys listening to me and making it this far in the video. If you wanted to stop now, because I'm just going to be talking about myself and my own opinions for the rest of the video, that is perfectly fine. I would totally understand that. But for those of you who are going to stay, I really do appreciate it. So, why do I love Fallout? I mean, I should probably ask myself that question first before I ask other people, but I'm a big history guy, and it's always been so interesting to me to see the alternate versions of America, especially post-nuclear apocalypse. One thing that I like the most regarding Fallout is the stories and lives of those living in the wasteland. Although they are fictional, they mirror how life could be for those who survive the end of the world. And speaking of mirroring, I love how the Fallout games highlight the corruption in our world, from the individual to societal and hierarchical. Although exaggerated, the games expose us to the very real deceit and exploitation that people suffer in our own world. Unwilling experimentation, political corruption, excessive environmental waste, as well as human replacement of jobs via automation, just to name a few. The stories in the games allow you to make good and bad choices, and in doing so, it tests your morals. This may not seem like much to y'all, but to me, I don't know why I put y'all on a pen and paper. What am I doing? To you guys. But to me, this is very important. Although the game is fictional, making these decisions can influence your decision making in real life. Distinguishing right and wrong is one of the best tools you can have. Although I'm not sure how this would apply to the Legion, Enclave, and Raider fans. Yeah, bad joke there, Nav, I know. But that's kind of similar to what Neo Cypher was saying, in that, you can live 1,000 lives through all this. But what I'm trying to say with that is that these games really show you good and bad. And I know that you can choose the side that you want, but I don't know. It gives you a multitude of situations and shows you what, the consequences can be of your actions. And I love that a lot. It has taught me a lot. It's taught me to be a more positive person, a more rational person, to think about what I'm going to say before I say it. And I don't know. I just really appreciate and thank the Fallout games for that. Finally, I like 76 the most, and yes, that may be controversial, because of the multiplayer and trading aspects. It's one thing to explore a dead world alone, but having people there alongside you gives it life. Plus, I love collecting and selling and trading in real life, so it's great that I have another world to do that in. And that is correct, Navigator. Very well put. I don't know why I'm talking to myself like that. Okay, folks, that is going to be it. That is all of the responses that I have, although I do have one final thing that I would like to say before we end the video. The Fallout games are burrowed into the heads of many, and hopefully this video enlightens you as to why. I would like to thank everyone who reached out, and I genuinely mean that. Thank you guys so much. As well as those who responded to the question I posed to them on, YouTube and my community posts. I'm sure this video has been long, but I thank all of you for participating and listening to the memories and stories from those spread across the wasteland. Before you go, I'd like to leave you with some inspirational words from a man that many of you will know. We all go through periods of darkness. Of course, in a world filled with misery and uncertainty, it is a great comfort to know that in the end, there is light in the darkness. My name is Navigator. Have a nice day. Take care.